Hey guys and gals, what is good? What is good today? How are you doing? Let's go. Let's go. Yes. Yes. Lurkers and twerkers, appreciate you stopping by. Whoever you are, wherever you are, man, you are such a legend. Dedicated, committed, man, I love it. Wherever you are a great person, individual. I will tell you that much. I will tell you that much. Let's go. Okay, am I done with mod stuff? Let's see, guys and gals. Chat with you a little bit here briefly before we get going. Guys and gals, if you want to just get straight to the learning content, obviously you'll be able to do that when it's not live. Feel free to skip to the timestamp if there is one. There will be one for sure on YouTube. So you can hit that if you want to just get right to learning. I'll be good. Man, it's just great that you want to just get right to it. Man, it's so awesome. Truly is. I'm going to kind of just, go on and on and on and on like I usually do. Talk, chat, all those sort of things. Just hang out with you guys and gals, chat a little bit, drop some quotes as well, just to keep you motivated, on track, and pump you up as well. Some good stuff here. Some good quotes. Again, you're going to have to be part of the live stream to see them. That's right. Let's go. Oh, those are so good. And here's another one. I like this one as well. Boom. It's a long one, but there's some reading for you, guys and gals. Keep the chat a little busy, I guess. Something for you guys to read, to do, not exactly poppin', it is a learning channel. I don't want to go on that tangent. It hurts other people's feelings. Let's go. All right, you guys and gals, thank you for hitting the play button. Whoever you are, wherever you are, man, thank you for dropping by, checking out the content, wanting to learn, wanting to grow, wanting to fill that Now, I'm not going to say you have an empty void in your brainium cranium, because, if you click the play button, most likely you are an intelligent individual, because, let's be real. Those that don't want to learn anything tend to not click these type of, videos or content. It is what it is, I guess. It's alright, whenever you hang out and talk to them, whenever they talk to themselves in their own minds, it's like this. Hello, hello, hello! What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you talking to yourself? Talking to yourself, talking to yourself, talking to yourself. Yeah, literally, echoes in their head, I guess. Let's go. I recommend you fill your mind with learning, It doesn't matter who you are. Learning is good, It's good for the mind, good for the soul. Take an interest in something. It doesn't have to be what I'm doing, You be you. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I do need to do shout outs. We'll get those done. We'll get to those done. Let's go. Alright, hopefully, I'm hoping you're having an awesome day. I'm going to try to get my words out today. Casual streamer, teaching, coding. I do this for fun. Yes, it is. It's a passion. It's like a hobby for me. It's one of those things in life. How's the saying go? I do because I can. That's a good one. I like that. I do because I can. I like that. That's right. Oh, yes, that's beautiful. Why can I not ever type because? I get the U and the S backwards all the time. Now I gotta save that quote because that's a good one. It is a gooder. Okay. Alright. Turn it up. Mod stuff. Sorry, I apologize, guys. It's just part of being a streamer. You gotta, you gotta do it yourself. I can't, I can't ask the ghost that's sitting beside me, hey ghost, can you mod for me? The ghost is like, I can't even press buttons. What are you talking about? That's right. All right, so let's get to this, guys. Am I on the right document here? We're gonna get going. We are. Just kind of, letting people roll up, say hello or whatever they need to do. Maybe chat with them, those sort of things, briefly. But if you do want to chat with Johnny, name's Johnny, WhiskeyTango Sharp Coding. Appreciate you hitting the play button. Appreciate you dropping by, lurking and twerking. This one here? Yes, here we go. Okay. Hopefully, I don't have any Minecraft cobwebs in the brain today. Sheesh. Yesterday. Okay. All right. Focus. Let's get this going. Okay. Yep. Here. This is it. All right. Shout out. Shout out. Shout outs. Let's go. Turn it up. I'm gonna show you guys and gals on here on Twitch and also on YouTube. I upload my content to YouTube because, well, you know, my videos basically are only good on Twitch for, I think it's a week. Yeah, it's a week. Used to be 2 weeks. It is what it is. No sense crying in your cup of marmalade soup, you know. Random thoughts. So yeah, lucky for you guys over at YouTube, you get the content. Again, I guess if you Twitch guys want to check out any missed content, I'm saving it for you. Again, you guys here on Twitch, you guys are, man, I'm just gonna say it. I don't mind being real because, you know, that's how I grew up. Okay? We call a spade over here. That's what we do. Okay? We don't try to dress it up as something else. So, man. Shoutouts. Focus on shoutouts. Okay? So, yeah, that's what it was. You guys are killing it on Twitch. Killing it. Thank you for the views. Keep it up. You guys are destroying YouTube. Destroying YouTube viewers. Now, I'm not saying anything bad against the viewers on YouTube. You guys are awesome too. Like, whoever you are, like, I want you to know, thank you so much as well. Right? I just, you know, the YouTube end could pick it up a little bit. That's all. It's not you guys, okay? You guys are doing your part. You guys are awesome. Whoever you are, every single one of you. Beautiful, intelligent people. Thank you. Okay? Just being clear. I like to get this stuff out, let you know. Okay? Real talk. All right, shout outs. Let's go. Turn it up. Shouty outies time. Let's go. Shouty outies time. I'm going to show the love to Nicole Trace, 66. Much love. Let's go. Bart number 1. Jim Jam, 1238. Kazzer, 20. Gavin, 555. Kamikaze, ML. I hope you're doing good, brother. And let's turn it up for my guy. I like this. I like doing this. I don't know. It's kind of funny. It's funny, guys. Why is that always low all the time? There we go. Turn it up. Turn it up for I Ducky. I Ducky. Let's go. Continuing on, let's go. Wicked Stat. Turn it up. Con Papa's 9. Slow motions. I love it. Turn it up. Thank you, brother. Amir Hassan, 23. Let's go. Dropping over on the YouTube end. Nap. Vision with a $S. Peter N. Or Petter N, whichever, however you say it. Caesar Rojas, welcome, brother. Let's go. Mi amigo. Tech Dave, 99. My guy. WX87. Flawless Hack. Salt of the Earth Ministry. Bless, brother. And Ayawi. I'm going to say Yawi. Let's go. Thank you, brothers, sisters, for the support. You guys are all great. You're all great. I wish you all the best in life. Every single one of you. Turn it up. Get my background crowd throwing it out for you guys and gals, because I love doing this. And go. All right, that's right. Johnny Whiskey Tango, sharp coating. Appreciates every single one of you. Much love, much love. All right, let's get going, guys. I'm going to check the Twitch end. Johnny Whiskey Tango. Let's go. We're good. Much love. Let's go. All right. Okay, guys and gals, time to turn on the old thinking cap. Let's get to learning. Yeah, let's get to learning. Flick that old switch in the cranium. Let's learn some, let's continue educating ourselves with some C++ coding. I'm thinking in 3D or 4D right now. It's crazy. So, almost like chess. Too many moves ahead, you know? Let's go. All right, we're going to continue on. We're not really, well, we're kind of still working on functions, guys and gals. Okay? We are still working on functions. We'll do a lot of different examples. But really what we want to do is kind of continue on with this local, global, variable concept. And understanding scope and what happens to variables and such, you know, when you get to the end of the scope, what is happening? Can it be seen? Can a variable be seen? Can it not be seen? Can it be used? Right? Is it visible? It's kind of like that. Local and global variables is kind of like that in that sense. Now, I'm going to clean up what we have here. But I'll kind of go over it briefly. Up here, I created, so if I kind of scroll through this that we're creating here, we have essentially what I call 3 parts to your line coding essay. There is a way you can break it up in here in your solution into 3 parts. You can, but we're going to keep everything in 1 part. You know, for you guys learning and growing, this is good enough to begin with. It all works the same, and as you advance and grind more code and basically fill your toolbox with all the good little tools that you can use with coding, then you can break things apart, right? So one step at a time, we'll get there. So here, so you can see the int main. Okay, the int main, I kind of call the body of your essay, right? Your line coding essay. Above that is what we would call the header. Okay, just like any book, or like use a book for an example, or an essay, right? It has an intro. So think of the header part as an intro. Okay. And then the body of your essay is, well, essentially it would be from here on, right? And I'm just going to kind of scroll up here, and we're kind of right here, right? So there's the body of our essay. All the magic happens inside our int main. Int main is, yes, guys, if you're wondering, most of you already know this, but if you're just dropping by, int main is a function. In fact, it is a function, but it's a special case type of function. I just want to throw it out there quickly. We are going to continue on here, of course. But those of you that are kind of just new and dropping by, I want you guys and gals to know it's great to have you. It truly is. But what we're doing over here is kind of a lecture course. It's a free online lecture course, okay? If you're looking for, like, I'm not trying to be nice here. If you're looking for like a 5-minute video or whatever type of video on like how to type a variable and get, you know, those kind of videos, like, you know, they're very basic, they're very elementary, and they still get 1 million views, which is like, keep my inside voice inside. struggle is real. So, again, it's great to have you. Obviously, you're not looking for those type of videos. Okay, I have thoughts on that, but I'm kind of keeping them to myself. So, with that said, yeah, we're learning over here. This is a class. This is a lecture. So, if learning C++ is something you're interested in, it's great to have you. And man, if I could help you on your journey and learning, I'm down. I am so glad to help you. Truly am. Okay? Again, I'm going to explain things. Maybe I over-explain things, but I like to be thorough. Okay? I want to make sure you fully understand. Again, if you guys and gals already kind of get the idea, you could, if it's not live, you could kind of just skip forward 5-10 seconds or whatever it is, or just click any spots on that video play line, whatever you want to call it, and then we'll see you in the future. See you in the future. I love doing that. But there you go. Just want you guys and gals to know that, okay? That's what this is. Okay? So this is the body. Okay, all the magic, everything happens inside the main. Okay, when you run your program, when we're doing a console application, the console application is great because it's at least a visual, and you can see the results of your hard work, right? And then below that, we have what I call the conclusion. Now, I have all these kind of extra notes. I keep some stuff, but I'm going to try my best not to get carried away and make this too long. I just kind of keep some basic general notes here for you guys and gals. And that's about it. We don't really go down here much, but that's all it is. You can have... Now, just so you know, this isn't common or normal to do, okay? If you're working for a company, if you're doing this at home, what I have here is fine, okay? Because it's yours. It's at home. Nobody else is going to see it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you do. It shouldn't matter to anybody how you set up your program or what you do inside your own program, because it's your own. They could do whatever they want in their own program, right? So this is our conclusion. Okay, so I'll just kind of go up as far as I can here. There we go. Yeah, we're right here. Okay, that's it. I need to stop there. And that's it, pretty much. 3 parts. Okay, to our line coding essay. So at the top here, we do our declaration of our functions. It's where we also create our function prototypes. That's what these are. Up here, we create our global functions, put in also global variables. Yeah, global functions, that is, they can be accessed from anywhere in your program. I have these little notes. They're for you guys and gals. These are comments. You could have 2 forward slashes for a single line comment, or you could go / asterisk for a multi-line. Okay, so you can actually have, multi-line comments. Okay, that's there for you. If you want to make your own personal notes or whatever, you can. If you're working for a company, not recommended to do this kind of stuff, okay? Just want to give you guys and gals a heads up. You have to seriously resist doing stuff like this. It's not what you want to do, okay? I want you to keep your job. I want you to be successful. All right? But if you're at home doing your own thing, this is fine. So, back to where we were. So, we're going to I need to kind of get this train going here. So, we're getting into kind of global and local variables, okay? Essentially, this function, when we're actually creating the function prototype, it's kind of at a global in a global sense, right? Because it could be seen throughout our main CPP file, which is also called something I'm kind of just trying to remember. A translation unit. Terminology, right? Hold up. Sorry, but PC gamer over here. I'm done with consoles. Okay, those are potatoes. Oh my goodness. All right, focus. All right, so up here I'm creating what's I call or is called a global variable. The global variable can be seen throughout your whole translation unit. If you hear translation unit, really that's all that means is .cpp file. Okay, also known as a source file. Okay. So it's in a global sense. It can be seen throughout your code from top to bottom. And then you have the local variables, okay, which are more kind of inside, beginning at your int main, okay. Now I can, let's see, today's lecture, I should put this in a global, let's see, local and global variables, okay. I'm going to put this above because really that's kind of where it should be. I really don't want to make this too long. What is this that I got going on here? I don't know why I have that. Let me just see where we're at. These standard CO new lines I got here and there. Maybe I need them for some reason. I got one there. I've got another one here. I don't know why I wouldn't have a double backslash. Then I could just get rid of that. Okay, there we go. Okay, so there. Perfect. Okay, local variable. If you've been following the series, which is awesome, super appreciate you doing that. Again, if you guys and gals are just dropping in and wanting to learn, I recommend you start from the beginning of the series. We're going step by step here, gradually, and you're going to need that foundation, right? You need to understand the theory. There's a lot of kind of good tips and advice and tricks and stuff that are kind of going on as well. And yeah, you don't want to miss out. Okay, so I'm just going to create a symbolic constant with some random value. Okay, random whole number. All right, so this would be a local variable, and it's local to the int main. That's why I put that here. It can't be seen above, in the sense. If I had something up here like a class, for example, or a function, it would not be seen above. Again, the main point here with code, let's see, where's my note there? Note that a program is executed line by line in the order it appears in your source code until a function is reached. When it reaches a function, it jumps to the definition of a function, does all the magic that's inside the function, and then goes back to the main. Okay, and then it continues on line by line. Essentially, that's how it works. But we're getting into the concept of local and global variables. Why am I getting so many commercials now? Oh, okay. Well, I kind of support that Unreal Engine. I actually haven't used that software. I've used Unity. I'm pretty sure I could learn that software pretty quick too. But I'm enjoying doing this teaching thing, so. And C++ is also not a managed language, so that's what I love about it. C++, for me, it's the language where you can learn a lot more. Okay, it truly gives you that deeper understanding of what happens under the hood when you run a program. That's what I love about C++. Everything else is just kind of like basic. Here you go. This is how you open a door of a car. Sit in the seat of the car, turn the key, and just go. And then that's all you. That's the extent of your knowledge. You know. Okay. So this local variable, curly brackets are kind of like the scope. So if you hear the word scope, just think, kind of curly brackets. You have an opening curly bracket and a closing curly bracket, right? So when the program gets to the end of int main, essentially that's the end of the program, guys. Okay. Inside your int main, if there is a function, which there is, it jumps to the actual function, does the magic inside, and then goes back to the main. Okay, that's the only time it goes out. All right, essentially, it really is running still in the background, but as soon as it gets to this curly bracket, that's it, and then that's when memory gets cleaned up. It's kind of the nice thing about the stack memory, or putting variables on the stack. Essentially, that's what we're doing right now. We're creating on the stack variables, okay? Okay, it's kind of like pre-runtime information, if you will. Okay, here we're hard coding. This would be called a literal constant. I'm going to try to reiterate the knowledge that we've been talking about in the past, just to kind of, refresh your memory and to, use the proper kind of lingo as we're learning here, right, guys? For me, like, I'm a doer, right? I understand a lot of the main nuances of coding and such, but like the deeper theory, I don't know. Like, I don't want to say anything too negative, right? It's great to, learn and just have an understanding of maybe the deeper theory. And there's nothing wrong with that, guys, okay? Just got to put in the time. You can't learn enough to just get going. You can, right? But eventually you're going to want to get to the point, you're going to want to understand some of the different lingo that's used, having a sense of what that means and those sort of things, okay? Because you got to be able to communicate with other coders, right? If they're saying certain lingo to you and you don't understand, you don't want to sit there staring at them with a blank face, because that's not going to look good. I don't want you to be in that position, right? So let's carry on the stack. All right, it refers to memory, okay? Which is our temporary memory, okay, i.e. RAM. And that's good enough. Okay, so this local variable can be seen pretty much throughout the main, okay? As soon as it gets to the end of the scope, that's it, right? It can't be seen anywhere else, essentially. It only can be seen inside the main, okay? Anything below, so I've created here a new empty scope, okay? Just a couple of empty curly brackets, okay? That's creating a new scope. All right, so with that said, here's kind of, I don't know, this is maybe the best way I can explain it. Imagine this is covered by a blanket, right? If something is covered by a blanket, well, you can't see it, right? But, all right, so because this X value is above this, right? Remember, line by line. Because this X value variable is above this, it could actually be seen by this because it's above it, okay? If it was below it, it cannot be seen, right? Anything above can't be seen in the sense. All right? I have variables inside here, Okay, so if I created, let's say, an imaginary function up here, like print something, print value or whatever, right? Just I'll do it right in here. I guess we could kind of do it. It's not found. I actually have to tell the program about what? Why are you breaking there? I'm gonna have to undo all this. I don't know why it's doing that weird stuff. But my point is, because now it's breaking, I can't just go standard. I'm gonna undo all this. I just wanted to give you kind of a quick example. Note that I'm above this empty scope. I can't, if these were actually showing in the proper color and things weren't derping on me, I could actually show you. But I couldn't just print that value, okay? Because it's inside of its own scope, all right? It could only be seen within its own scope, all right? So I'm gonna undo all that. I don't know why it's doing that. We're gonna kind of do things properly. There we go. It's best to undo instead of deleting. I don't know what it is. Things are a little bit finicky lately. I don't know what it is. If you just delete that, like let's say I put that back and I just deleted it, I might end up still having that problem in the error list. It's almost like it doesn't recognize that it's been removed. I don't understand. So I just undo things. And you'll be guaranteed to have whatever is happening here in the error list to go away. And that's what you want. Okay? Okay, so you guys understand that so far? So these variables can only be seen inside here. So if I try to print this, let's say I'm just going to do standard COs. Right? Now, hopefully, you know, let's see. Let's just, what the? See, that's good. That's what I wanted to see. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to see. So, and you're probably going, well, that's not good. That doesn't look good. Okay, so what's happening is, right? And this is good, guys. This is good because this is a good little visual for you. So this variable is local. It's local to the main. It can be seen throughout, right? Okay. It ends when it gets to the end of this scope, right? Then it gets cleaned up in memory. Okay, this is a stack variable, right? It's a stack variable. Okay. I could actually type this variable in here and reassign. Whoops. Being lazy, guys. Okay, I'm just going to type. Okay. I can actually reassign the value. Okay. Remember, it's line by line and it can be seen, right? Even though we're going inside a different scope, it still can be seen because it's above. All right. So I can actually reassign its value, right? From 14 to 53 through code. That's how you change things, right? But going back to this float, right? Remember, this is its own scope. It's kind of its own blanket. And it's also below it, right? That actually is wrong, what I said there. It's below it, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's below it. Even if I put it above it, it's still not going to see it, right? Because it hasn't even been declared, right? Here it's declared, but here it's not, right? So the program's going to be like, what are you doing, man? There's like, I don't even know what you're talking about, okay? So because this float variable is inside its own scope, it can't be seen outside. Remember, as soon as it gets to this curly bracket, it also becomes and goes out of scope. That's what happens. That's the LIFO part of it. Okay? It gets kind of cleaned off memory. So, again, could be another explanation of why we can't see it, right? Because it's been cleaned up. Again, it gets to the curly bracket here. That's it. It's done. So it can't be seen outside. Now, if I took the variable, let's say I cut them, Control X, and I put them above, then yes, now it can actually be seen. You see that? The coloration's changed, right? It went from, being a normal, healthy variable, right? If I undo, right now it's unhealthy. It's sick. Okay, don't get sick, guys. Okay? So there you go. All right? So this is the local global thing, right? It's still local, but this variable is local to this scope. Will you stop? I am trying to teach here. You guys are getting refreshed. If you guys want to cancel commercials, the annoying YouTube commercials that pop up a lot, I mean, honestly, Twitch can be, the commercials on Twitch. At least the good thing about YouTube, you could actually, here's the tip for you guys. Just hit the reload button. Okay, top left corner of your browser, reload this page. That's how you get rid of commercials quick. You just have to be aware of the last position where you're watching in your video so you can go back to that location. It might actually restart your video. Sometimes it'll actually keep it in memory and remember the last spot you're at. Okay, that's a tip. I play this one video because it didn't have commercials. It was actually the best one I found that didn't have commercials popping up. I don't know why it's being forced in lately. Okay, I'm gonna clean this all up, but we're going over the local global variable concept. Okay, a global variable is right at the very top. It can be seen throughout because it's above everything, right? It's the local concept you have to get a better understanding of, and also an understanding, right, that this variable is local to the main. It's above everything. It can be seen all the way to the bottom here. Okay, but if we create new variables inside its own scope, well, it's kind of like a blanket, right? It can only be seen inside that scope. It's the same thing with functions, right? It's the same concept. Okay, if I go to a function here, right, I created this temp one. This temp variable, it can't be seen anywhere above. It just can't. Okay, I can't use it in code. All right, you have to have that understanding. Plus, this temp variable belongs inside the function. It's for the function itself. And that's all. I created it just for that purpose. I didn't need to. I could have, I guess I wanted to initialize it first. I mean, you don't really have to. I could have just did this, right? Put everything and one-lined it. Right? Boom. Okay? It's kind of a preference thing, guys. All right. I'm going to clean this up, but I wanted to, before I cleaned it up, I wanted to just kind of re-explain this. So here we go. So now we're outside this scope. Okay? This is its own little... It's like, pretend it's a vehicle, right? We're not inside this vehicle. We're outside the vehicle. So this is why we can see the global variable, because it's above here, right? I could put this global variable above this scope. It'll still be seen, guys. Okay? It's above this scope. And as a matter of fact, I haven't even tested this, but it should be visible here as well. Okay, that's the main concept to understand here, guys, right? Because this is global, it's above everything. It's above everything. So it can be seen. Again, code is run line by line. It can even be seen inside this scope. Yeah, I did say it's its own blanket, but I guess to differentiate or to separate the thoughts or the concepts in your head, you got to realize Okay, you guys are gonna get canceled. Hard canceled. Okay. It's just very distracting for me. It's bad enough trying to keep this lecture class going without my own random thoughts in my own head changing direction, without having a commercial interrupt me and distract me and take my mind off of, the topic. Okay, global variable, right? It can be seen throughout. That's essentially what it means in a nutshell. It can be seen throughout all your code, well, basically up until here. Okay, I haven't actually tested it inside. There we go. We could actually use it inside my void functions in my definitions. So that's how global it is, right? Global, it can be seen everywhere, right? In a nutshell. Okay, I don't normally do these kind of things, but just to show you guys and gals, right? It can be seen. My coloration of my variable is correct. Okay, it matches. Okay, that means everything's golden, right? This is the color for a global variable. Okay, so it can be seen throughout. That's a global variable. Okay, so if you need a variable with a value attached or put in its container, and you need it throughout your code or your program, that's what you do, a global variable. Okay, global variables are typically at the top. Okay, up above your int main, structs, classes, function prototypes, and any variable I should have global, right? Right, essentially they will be global variables, not local. Well, local to the CPP file, I guess, but think of them in a global sense. Okay. So there you have it. That's pretty much the gist of it, right? So this X value here, I can actually reassign it below it. I can. Again, this is a local variable, local to the main. It can be seen here. It could also be seen in here because it's above it still, right? It's local to the main. It still goes inside this scope. It can kind of crawl under the blanket. I can change the value here to something else. I'm reassigning it. You don't have to redeclare, okay? This is your declaration. You only need to declare your data type once, okay? The rest of the time in code, okay, just as a little tip, if you're wondering that, guys, you only need to declare a variable once, its data type, right? You can reassign its value, right? We're assigning the right-hand side, and it gets stored in the variable, right? You've been following along, you know how that works. Okay, and as you can see, the X value is seen below as well. Okay, but if I try to change the X value in here, right, negatory, it cannot be seen, okay, because it's a local variable. Local variable, all right, guys? There you go. That's local global in a nutshell. Okay, so you have to have this understanding. And the great thing about the Visual Studio, I set up my own theme. I do have a video on that on YouTube, how to create your own theme in Visual Studio. So by all means, you can check it out. Let me know on the live stream if you want to see it. Again, that's over in YouTube land. I have I'll just kind of mention it here. I'll go to my channel here quickly. And trying to remember, let's go to playlists. Just to give you an idea which playlist it's in, so you're not spending a lot of time looking. It's a how-to, I believe, playlist. Where are you? Yeah, how-to, Visual Studio, Unity, and Krita. Okay? It's called YT Live. How-to Visual Studio, Unity, and Krita streams. Okay? It's in there somewhere. Oh, and I guess I could have mentioned how many. Currently, it has 28 videos in it. Okay? There's a good heads up for you. I need some coffee. Now, this was kind of good for me too, guys, because, you know, I don't really spend... I know about the local and global thing, but I haven't really gone too, you know, too deep into, you know, testing different things to see where you can see, you know, variables and such. And this was a good example today. So, right on, guys. Thank you for being here and checking it out. All right, I'm going to clean things up. So I'm going to get rid of the global or not. It doesn't matter. I'm going to get rid of the functions. I actually don't need these anymore. I'm not really using type def. I noticed those were there. I don't want to use type def too much. I'm just going to leave that like that. Good enough for now. Let's see. I want to see something here quickly. Oh, come on. Wake up. Not there. Let's see another. I'm just going into a notepad document here. Okay. All right. Okay. I see. Yeah. Okay. I'll just checking something out here. I'll just leave it like that. That's good. I want you guys to be able to read that. Okay. Okay. So scrolling down, we're going to clean things up. I'm going to get rid of this. I could keep the empty scope just to use it for examples. Or not. I don't know. I'm not sure what I got going on there. I'm going to get rid of that extra. There we go. Fixing things up here in code. I've been spending a lot of time doing a lot of researching, just leveling up my skills too, guys. I'm working on a program right now. Which I've been meaning to share. I haven't really worked, I won't lie, I haven't worked on it much lately. I am close to the end of having it done. It's kind of a big project. I don't know if it's releasable. What is going on here? What did I do? Oh, there's an extra set of quotes. What did I do in here? How did this get all derped? What is up? And I really got messed up. What is up? Why were you like that? Wow. Oh, I know what it is. Haha, I just realized I'm being silly. Okay, cool. That is cool. Okay, what it is, guys, and I'll show you quickly. It's fine. I'm used to just having a couple of backslash ends, and I was thinking, like, what did I do? Like, did I double quote things? What was I doing there? And, that's fine. Okay, let me show you what it is. Okay, I'll just scroll to the bottom. I think it's at the bottom here. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Looks like I'm gonna have to bring the whole thing. Okay. Escape characters. Alright, so because we're working with a string literal, I needed to add one of these double quotes because I actually wanted to quote it, right? That's what you do, right? To show that, you're not plagiarizing, I guess. But it is a quote, so I wanted to double quote it. So that's what I had. / double quote. Escape character. Okay, my brain just remembered what I was doing. Because normally I don't use them, but I realize now what it is. Okay, and I'm going to get rid of this. And so what I've done was just basically cleaned up I still have my global variable. I don't know. For now, whatever. Okay. Got rid of anything in my int main here because, I'm going to create new variables as we do things. I've contemplated using this scope still. I don't know. Yes, no, yes, no. It just kind of creates more complications. Really, the empty scopes are great if you want to see, like for classes when we get there, guys. If you want to see, how do I explain this without going too deep into it? Like, you have variables, you have classes, you have variables, you have constructors, you have destructors, you have all that goodness. And the end of the scope here is when things get deallocated off the stack, right? If you run a program, and this is obviously the last curly bracket, so you want to see the return or output of stuff from your destructor, for example. And you can print out something. It's not common, and I'll talk about that stuff when we get there. But you can't see, because this is the end of it, it's not going to print out anything, right? Because that's it. That's the end of it. Object deleted, whatever, right? We'll talk about that in the future. So that's why you create an empty scope, so you can see the efforts of your hard work and also see, that things are working properly. It's great for testing. It really is. And singletons as well. Okay, all right. I think for now what I'm going to do is just cut it and just paste it in here. If I need it again, I'll just grab it. Okay. Global functions. Oh yeah, global functions, right. Essentially, that's what these are, right? The function prototypes. The prototypes are global. I guess they would have to be. They are part of the header. But you can also create functions up top here. Your definitions, right? It's not a common thing to do. Well, you can do it. You can. I shouldn't say it's not common, but you can, right? I could take this recent follower. As a matter of fact, did I make it static void? Yeah, I did. So I could take this, and instead of creating the prototype up top here, I could just cut this out, just literally cut it right out and paste it at the top. So now it's become a global function. Okay, and I wouldn't need this. Then I would just delete that, right? But I could do that as well, right? It's seen. This is all above. And here it's telling me I can make it static and all that sort of stuff. But I'll just keep it down there. Okay. All right, we're still good. Okay, so let's grind out some more code. I wanted to kind of go over that example quickly. Where was I here? I lost my spot. No, here we go. Okay, if you've been following along, you know what a variable does. Variables, the left-hand side, right? What does the left-hand side variable do? Right? Yeah, okay. So let's not worry about that. Getting distracted with other things. Back on track. All right, local variables within blocks. Right, so we're going to create something. We're going to create another function. I didn't want to call this stream functions. Really, we're kind of getting into functions, or we're just going to do functions. The main purpose is to, for you guys to have an understanding of local and global. It's very important. I think you guys have it now. I think that was a pretty good description or definition or visual for you guys, so you can get a good understanding. Okay, so let's create a new function. We're just gonna start with the definition. I could put it above, I guess. I'll put it above. I kind of like to do things in order. So if I call a function, it's going to be above my recent. So I like to put things kind of in order. It's very important that you do, especially with variables. When we get into classes and doing constructors and what are they called, member lists and such, the order of your variables is important. So I kind of do the same thing with my functions when I'm creating them. If I'm going to have a function above, if I'm going to call a function, I want it above whatever, right? It's kind of like an order of operations thing for me. All right, so we're going to do, I don't know what to call this function. Local variables with blocks. You can define variables. I'm going to go through the course outline a little bit, guys. I am kind of following it, but I'm also giving you guys my own personal instruction and examples and such, right? And then I'll go back to the course outline and just kind of go through whatever they have, just to give you that more extra added reassurance, okay? You can define variables anywhere with the function, not just at its top. The scope of the variable is the block in which it is defined. Thus, if you define a variable inside a set of braces within the function, that variable is available only within that block, right? Remember when I was showing you, putting local variables? A local variable that's local to the main, right? Without going too deep in that again, I've already showed you, right? You recall? Okay, let's, I'm just trying to think of a name of a function again. It's just like anything. Coming up with names, even for your functions, can be a little bit of a mind twist. It's not really that bad. It's just trying to come up with a suitable name, Variables, scope variables. Let's just call it scoped variables, okay? Something that's suitable but kind of generic, okay? That's what we're going to call it. It's not going to take any parameters, so you can have empty brackets, okay? So that means it doesn't take any information. Nothing is being put in by the user. It's recommending that I make it static. I'm just going to do that anyways. It's not really a global function, it's a prototype. So I'm going to go static because I know that's what it wants. If you've been following along, you know what static is. I went over that the last video. Okay, we're just creating our function prototype. Okay, that's all I've done. Well, let me just get rid of it. Okay, maybe I'll keep that. Okay, it's a function prototype. All right. The function is basically static to this translational unit. I don't normally call it that sort of stuff. I just call it a source CPP file. That's what I call it. You know. So anyways, that's what static means. It's static. It's only can be seen. It's kind of like a visual thing, the same thing. It's static only to this. It can't be used anywhere else. So if I created another .cpp file, that static function can't be seen in any other translational unit. Oh my God, I can't even English. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. All right. So let's create it. So we're gonna put a local variable, which is local to this function, right? Just hold up. Right. With that said, local to this function, because in fact this is a function. Okay, I'm just gonna call it function. For note's sake, that's what I type when I want to refer to a function. Okay, local variables to this function. We're just gonna call it, I don't know, SX, scoped variable X. Okay, whatever, that's good enough. And it's a public variable, but it's kind of public to the function. So that's why we're using a public type variable. What I mean there is, so you understand what my thinking is. Let's see if I can find that. I'll reflect back on my notes every once in a while just to kind of reflect on this information that I'm sharing with you guys and gals, and just kind of, right here, this is what I'm looking for. Okay, so conventions, I was just trying to think of the word, right? So I'm just using basically straight, all lowercase. They're public variables. For the most part, private variables are written in a snake case sense, but normally you'll see them written as, where can I type this? Okay, this would be like a macro sense or a constant sense. A private, there we go. So you'll see something like, just go like this, int m underscore for private variables. This is in regards to classes. I'm talking about this kind of stuff like classes and that, just so you guys hear the words, you're familiar with the words, and by the time we get to classes, you guys are going to be like, yeah, I know what that is, right? It's just to make it easier for you. Okay, if we talk about the language or the lingo ahead of time, by the time we get to that area, you're going to know what I'm talking about. Okay, so for example, let's say we had X, right? right? Normal x, y values in the sense. Okay? You'll see them written like that. I'm just initializing them there. That's what I'm doing. Technically speaking, this is initializing as well. You can do that as well. Make them empty, right? Yeah, you can initialize them in the private area. You can, in the private part of your class. Okay, so that's how they're written, but because it's a public variable, I'm just gonna write it like that. Good enough. Better save that. Okay, and I'm going to be deleting this anyways, but I want to try to be consistent with the variables the way I write them, so you guys kind of learn the same thing. Again, you can pick your own style. I recommend you just learn industry style if you want to work in the industry or for some company. I highly recommend you learn that, right? And be consistent. Don't be doing random different things with, okay? It depends on what you're doing, what you're typing, where you're working in your code, what the code is. Is it public? Is it private? Is it a class? All that good stuff. Okay, but for all intents and purposes, this is good enough. Okay? Int. Okay, again, this is local. It's a local variable, but it's only local to this function. Okay? And this function is going to have a lot of different stuff, so we're going to return, I don't know if this is even pertinent information, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to keep it simple so you can see it. And I'm going to just call it inside, right? So if you see this, that means we're inside our function, okay? Good enough. And you already know it's local. Okay, so I've already explained that. It's local. So I don't need to do that. And then I'm just going to go svx. So you know the variable. I'm just going to put a comma separator. Good enough. Okay, and then we're going to return svx. Do I need a standard end line? I know I kind of change things up. It just depends on what you want. I'll use a lot of these more so, but I just want to show you guys and gals the standard end line in case that's what you want to use at the end of your code. All right, always remember your terminator, the semicolon, the terminator. Okay, when the program runs line by line, that's to signify to the console that's the end of the line, right? Okay, so let's add in an empty scope. All right, since I've done that, I'm gonna go like this. I'll just copy that, go like this. There we go. Now we have an empty scope inside our function, right? It's no different here. We did an empty scope inside this function. Main is a function. Right? But main doesn't actually need a return. That's the only thing. That's the thing unique about int main. It's the only one, the only function that you don't need a return. I could run this if. Do I have any breaks? Where am I going here? Let's see. Let's build it. Right? See, look, my return is 0. I can still run it, guys. No issues. Any other, if you're creating a return type function, it's always going to prompt you. It's going to say, hey, you need a return. You need a return type, or it's missing a return type. Again, take note, right? Main is a special case type of function, right? And you can't even create your own main function. You just can't. Okay, it's one of those key words in the sense. All right, let's do another standard C out. I'm kind of being lazy. I'm just gonna go like that. What are we gonna type now? Inside. Now we're inside the. I'm just gonna go inside our empty scope, right? So that you can see we're inside the empty scope, and basically we're gonna do the same thing. Do I need to mention that we're still inside the scope variable? I don't know. Do I, guys? Okay, and we're gonna return SVX again. All right. This is kind of just to show you what's happening under the hood, sort of, in the sense. Okay. Let's create. So now we're gonna create another variable. Actually, it's the same variable, but what we're going to do is we're reinitializing its value. Okay, we're reassigning it. I'm going to use, I don't know, what should I use, guys? 24. Just so you can clearly see that they're different values. I don't know, 34. Right? Now we clearly know that it's a different value, right? And in block, okay, we're inside the empty scope, and then we're gonna print it again. It's kind of like a before and an after. Okay, before, after, before, after. Okay, very local. We're still inside the scope, so I could go before and then after. Okay, I want you guys to see what's happening here. Whoops. All right, so when you see before, it's before we reinitialize the value, okay, to the variable. Same variable, guys. Same variable. Okay, same variable. And then now we're gonna be, let's do the same thing, except this time now we are outside. Is that the right way to say it? I don't know. No, we're still inside the scope variable. I'm gonna say above and below, because I don't know what else to say, right? All right, so just to be clear, let's go like this, right? So you can see I'm just opening up my function here, right? We're creating a variable, we're printing it, we're gonna print that value. It's above the empty scope. Okay, I don't want to put all that in there because that's just TMI, right? I don't want you guys getting lost and confused. I'm trying to simplify this. Okay, and then I created a new empty scope. We're inside, right? The blanket concept, right? Blanket concept. Again, this variable is above, right? So therefore equals, it could be seen inside. Same thing with here, right? This could still be seen. It could literally jump right over all that, jump over the blanket, and still be seen. Okay, it's all local to itself. Okay, so above, we're inside the before change. Before change and after change. I don't know. Okay, we're changing the value, guys. Okay, I kind of have to explain the function here a little bit so you understand what's happening. Okay, that's a lot. Again, there's a lot going on with this function, but this is just for an example, right? That's all it is. Okay, normally we don't kind of create them like this. Again, recommended functions should just quickly be doing something, and that's it, right? You don't want a 1,000-line function. That's just insane. People will look at you funny. They truly will. Okay, but if you're at home doing this for practice and examples, by all means, you could do whatever you want in your home. Okay, as long as it's legal. Just thought I'd throw that in there. All right, quick drink of coffee. All right, so it does take a little bit of time to go through all this, guys and gals, but I want to explain, right, so that you're sitting here, you're watching, and you're going, yeah, I know. Okay, I get it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yes, right? Below, it's kind of getting long. I didn't really want to do it, but below empty scope, above empty scope, right? And I don't really need to say scope variable again. You guys should know that we're inside, right? Okay, you should know. If you see this, you know we're inside. Or should I leave it there? Okay. So if you see this written like this, that means method. Okay, whenever I type stuff like this, if you're following along, you'll know that's a function, aka method. Okay. Functions and methods will be, a function will be called a method. You'll hear that term, right? If you're hearing method, instantly just think class. Okay, somebody's working in a class. Okay, so now in the int main, I'm not going to create this new scope, but we're going to create a new variable, and I don't know, x main I'm going to call it, and I don't know, I'm just going to go with a random number, just a low number. Okay, it's a variable local to the main. Okay, and then we're going to return that as well to the console. And I don't know, \n. And then I'm just going to go like this, int main. This way you know that we're inside. And then I'm just going to go like this, comma. And then I'm going to go like this, just copying that. And then I'm going to go like that, like this, and like that. And just do the common standard end line, okay? And then now at this point, I'm going to call the function, okay? We're not doing a lot in here in the main, okay? Everything that I'm doing is just in this area right here, guys, okay? In between this. All right, so I could go like this just to kind of try to create some separation. I don't know. I don't really like that. Okay. So I've created a variable. We're going to print that variable to the main. So when you see this, you'll know we're inside the int main. Now I'm going to call the function, which is right here. All I need is the name. That's all you need, guys, right? Take note of the syntax. Okay, that's it. That's all we need, because it's a void function, right? It's a void, which doesn't require return. Remember, void requires no return, okay? You just use standard coutts in void, okay? You don't need return. Okay, and now to finish up, back in main, I don't know why we would do that again, but let's go above call, above function call. Right, this is the function call right here, right? So you get the lingo right. Okay, we're calling our function here. That's what it means. That's the only way to make the magic happen, guys, right? You have to call the function. Otherwise, you know, you did all this work, and if you run it and you don't see the effort of your good hard work, and you're pulling, all of a sudden you start pulling your hair, and you're like I don't want you to get frustrated. I don't want you to quit, right? That's why I'm explaining these things, right? So you don't make these silly mistakes, because it's easy to do, guys. Oversight stuff, you overlook things. Maybe you're thinking you're doing 4D chess in your head. Who knows, right? It's easy to forget. Okay, don't forget to call your function above, and I don't know what, I'm just gonna call it above calling function. It's getting a little long, which sucks. Okay, and then I'm just gonna copy this line and just say below. Real simple. You get the idea, right? So this is really all the code that we have inside the int main. That's it, right? We've created a function. Okay, and now if I build it, right, I'm just kind of separating stuff here just so you guys and gals could get the visual of what's going on. All this stuff here is just extra information. It's just, well, we kind of need this. I need this so the console just waits, right? I want it to wait so you can see it. Above here is just some notes and saying hello to chat, right? Hello, chat. How's it going? Thank you for your lurks and twerks. Appreciate you. Yeah, let me just... I wanted to thank you guys in chat, but I need to keep going. Stay focused here, on track. Alright, so let me build it, and let's see what happens. Okay? Everything ran well. No syntax, right? If you have any syntax and syntactic, I know that's not even a word, syntactic mistakes, the compiler will let you know. Like, you notice I got rid of my terminator. If I run, it's going to tell me. Okay? You'll get compiler errors. Okay? That's pre-runtime. That's what it means. Compiler errors are pre-runtime errors. Okay? So, oops, oh, silly me. I forgot my terminator. I am the Terminator. Okay, let's run it. I'm just going to expand it just to, you know, make it easier for you guys to see. So here we go. Calling the function int main, the value's 5. All right, so let's go line by line here. Okay, value's 5, right? So far so good. I'm just gonna go like this because we don't really need to be that far. Okay. All right. So now it's printing out line by line. Remember, guys, gals, line by line. Just want to do that so I can get rid of that. Okay, line by line. Above empty scope. Above calling function. There we go. Above calling function int main. We're printing the 5. Okay. Above empty scope. Okay, so now we're inside, right? This is the part where we're inside our function. All right. This is all part of the visuals so you guys can see what's happening, right? All the magic. Remember, everything's run line by line until it reaches a function. Then it goes inside the function, does all the magic that's inside the function. When it's done, it goes back to here and just basically jumps right to the next line. Okay, so that's what's happening. So inside our function, let me just bring our function up here. So we're inside our function. We're above the empty scope and it's returning the value 12. Okay, that's good. That's good, yeah. It's going to print out. So how it works is it prints out the most recently stored or saved value in memory. Okay, so this variable, right, again, memory location, memory address, it's a container. Pretend you have a dice or a die. It has the value 12 on it. You throw that die inside your container. That's what the variable does. It holds that value, okay? So it prints out the most recently stored value on that dice or die, however you want to look at it. That's just an example. Okay, so, but the value can be changed or updated in code, right? So check it out. So we're inside our empty scope. Okay, we're inside our empty scope. And the value is still 12. And that's true, right? Because it's above. So it goes from here, prints out 12. Gets to here, prints out 12. No change yet, right? So we're right here, right here. Now the value gets updated or changed in memory. Same memory address, guys. The memory address doesn't change. It's still in the same location in memory. What does change is the value that's on that dice or die. Okay? So the 12 gets erased, 34 gets put on the die, and then it prints the most recently stored value in memory. And that's what it's doing right here. So you can see we're getting the 34. We're still inside our empty scope here. We're right here. Okay, you can see that. Now we go out here below our empty scope, right? So remember, everything's local, but remember this SVC can still be seen outside. Now, logically, you might think, well, does it get erased or cleaned out when it gets outside this? Below empty scope, we're still inside our function. And it returned the value 34. Okay, so take note, right? Still local. The value got updated. It's still inside this scope. We're still not really at the end of our program, or we're not at the end of int main. So that stored value obviously continues on. As you can see, no change. It goes from 12 to 12 to 34 to 34 right here. Okay? Below empty scope, inside scope variable, 34. So that value is 34 right here. Okay, now it gets to here, it's done, right? So essentially at this point, these are all local variables. Again, I can't print them in the main. They're only local to the function, right? So it goes back to the main, jumps to here, right? It's done at the end of this function. Now we're below, right? It continues on line by line. Now we're below the calling function, and the value is 5, okay? Because that doesn't change, right? If I went like this and went, right? That's why the value is still 5, because there's no change, right? We haven't changed it in memory. So if I reinitialize it, let's say I initialize it to, I don't know, 13. Okay? Watch, let me run it, and you'll see. Okay, so you'll see now 13, right? Before the change, it prints 5. Correct. Goes through all the magic inside our scope function. Here we change the value of X main. We're still in the main, right? We've updated it. So again, it's the same concept. The variable has its own memory address, location in temporary memory. It's a container. It's holding a die. Initially, the value of that die was 5. Then we changed it to 13, so it gets erased. However you do that on a die, I don't know. Just as an example. And it gets updated to 13, and it'll print the most recently stored value in memory. And that's what it's returning, 13. Okay? Let's drop the yays, because I know that was a lot. Whew! Let's go. All right. That makes sense, guys? I'm not going to go explaining any more than that, but that's it in a nutshell. Hopefully you got it, right? That makes sense. There was a lot of extra information there for you guys and gals. There was. But it was so that you had that visual understanding, okay? Get that visual understanding. I'm just going to go like this. That way I can reuse that. Okay, I'm just going to build. I'm just cleaning up. That's all I'm doing. This is just all information. I don't know why I have so many returns here. Let's see, where's the return after this one? I don't need a return here. I got enough returns going on. Yeah, there's 2 there. I got a double return there. That's a little bit better, right? I could use more space here. That's probably why I had the extra at the top. Could be. I wanted to kind of create some space. Why does that do that? Why is that doing that? That's strange. Okay, I'm just going to do a single new line. Could be the reason why I had that extra one up there. And then I could drop in a double right in front here. Run. I just want to create more space. This is our working area, just so you know in code. This is the bottom, and this is the top, right? Let's go. Parameters are local variables. Okay, let's go to the course outline. The arguments passed into the function are local to the function. Changes made to the arguments do not affect the values in the calling function. This is known as passing by value. Oh, we're getting into this now. Okay, this is cool. So I do have to hurry. I should try to speed this up. Now we're getting into, remember how in In prior videos, I said I'll show you how to do swap values using a temp variable. That's what we're doing now. Okay, this is known as passing by value. So here's a quick little heads up. Okay, if you want to do some research, okay, I'm just gonna clean that up. There we go. Passing by value. So passing by value, just here's the little, this is what it does. Makes copies. So it copies, right? It makes copies. So just remember that. So when you make copies, just like anything, you're making a duplicate, right? So making duplicates, what does that mean? So if you make a copy, you're doubling something in the memory, right? So essentially, that's what you're doing. Okay, passing by value. I'm going to tell you right out the gate, passing by value makes copies. Okay, when you get more advanced and more professional, you'll get away from passing by value. Okay, when you get away from passing by value, you've become an intermediate developer. All right, I'm just going to say that. All right, passing by value it's kind of a no bueno thing, but you got to know about it, right? You have to have an understanding. All right, so in the int main, I'm going to create, I wish there's a way to disable that. I don't like that. I'm going to create a couple of variables. I don't know, x value and a y value. I don't know, just something kind of different. Whoops. Okay, there we go. Okay, I've declared them and I've initialized both of them. Symbolic constant, literal constants. Okay, so here we go. Let's do it quickly. I have to finish this up. All right, so again, I'm going to put a little extra information just so you guys know what's up. Okay, so we're in int main. Okay, we're inside int main, and I'm going to go before swap. We're in the int main, and yeah, I'm gonna do it like this. Okay, I see. So I'm just gonna put a comma separator. Okay, we're gonna print x first, the x value. All right, so to do that, right, I should stop being a lazy typer. If I actually type xv, it'll pull up on my list. And then I could just highlight it and just hit tab. Okay, and now let's print y. So I need another set of quotations, but I need a leading space. Okay, that's how you get a space in the console. You actually have to, because space is a character. All right, even though it kind of blows your mind a little bit. Space as a character, that's wild. Yeah, it actually even has an ASCII value. Okay, right? You have a space on your keyboard, guys. Right? Space bar. Okay? Every time you press the space bar, there's a value, a numeric value that's associated with that. Okay, so if you want a space printed into the console, you actually have to create that space. So just hit space on your space bar. I'm going to go Y. As a matter of fact, I could do it like this, put a leading comma instead. That works. Just to create that separation. And then another space. And then a typical end line. So I'm just going to do the one I find a little bit quicker. So we're going to create a quick create a quick method, at least try to. Okay, so it's going to be called, it's a void, all right? We're not really doing any calculations, but we're going to be reassigning x and y inside this function. Okay, no calculations, so we don't need a return type, but you can spit the information back to the console with standard couts. Okay, so we're just going to call it swap values. Okay, this is using a temp. Okay, so remember, guys, right? So there's another way of doing this, and I'll show you guys and gals how to do that in the future. This is kind of the easy way, but if you're gonna go, like once you advance at coding and develop your skills and you start applying for jobs, if you choose, that's your path, that's great. I wish you all the best on your journey. I do pray and wish that works out for you and you get a job. You may be asked how to swap values without using a temp. Okay, you don't want to remember this way, but when we get to that point where I'll show you how to do swap values, it's kind of a recursion that we're going to be doing in regards to functions. We're not quite there yet. This is the way you don't want to show whoever is interviewing you. You don't want to do it this way, right? Because they're going to probably ask you, how do you swap values without using a temp? Okay, so, but it doesn't hurt to be aware of how to do it with using a temp. All right, what does that mean? We're going to create a temp value. Okay, that's using a temp. Okay, and let me show you. So this function, void function, you can put in parameters. Okay, we're hard coding these values. Take note, these are hard coded values, right? We're not, so what it means essentially is we're not getting a user to enter the values. We could set it up that way. It takes a little extra code to do. It's not really a lot more code, but I'm trying to speed things up here a little bit. So we could, but we're just going to hard code them for now. Good enough. Okay. So a void function, yes, can take in parameters. And I'm just going to call them, I don't know, xpar. I'm just kind of coming up with random and ypar, right? For short for parameters, okay? And I'm just using lowercase for all of them. Good enough. So it's going to take in, so we're creating parameters, which means we have to put in values or arguments in our main, right? You'll see, I'll show you. Okay, it's really not that bad. Okay, but I need to create a temp variable. So this is a temp variable. That's all it is. I could even write temp variable. Okay, and all I did was just make it 0. So standard cout, and then so I could, I guess, say that we're inside inside I'm just gonna copy that. Okay, so that you know that we're inside this function, and we're gonna put before swap again. Okay, but I'm also want to be clear that we're inside. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the same thing, kind of what we have here. And I'm just gonna go like that, there. Okay, except it's xpar, right? Yeah, x and then y. So xpar. Oh, I'm really dropping the ball here. we still have to return Y value. Silly me. Okay, sorry guys. You may have noticed that too, and if you did, good for you. That's amazing, right? That's how you return it to the console. We're returning X, and then we're returning Y. Okay, don't forget to do that. So I'm gonna go like this again. Kind of cheating a little bit, but I'm making sure I match. Whoops. I actually cut it instead of copying it. That's okay, easy fix. Okay, we're gonna return X par and then Y par. Okay, we're not returning the temp. The temp, we don't care. It's just the temp is helping us with the swap process. That's all. Okay. Right. So now let's do the swap. All right. So first we're gonna use the temp, and we're gonna make the temp equal to X par. And then we're going to make X par equal to Y par. So what's happening here is first we're going to, whichever value gets put in, gets put into temp. Okay? All right, so now temp equals whatever X par was or is. Now we're actually updating X par. We're changing the value of X par now. We're making the value of X par equal to Y par, which means whatever's on the right-hand side, right? Left-hand side equals right-hand side. Whatever's on the right-hand side goes into the left-hand side. Okay, guys? That's key to remember. Okay? So now X par is going to be whatever value Y par is holding. That's how this is working. Okay, and then we still have to work with Y par. So now we're going to give Y par whatever temp is holding. Temp is just holding the value temporarily. Okay, so we don't lose it in memory. That's all its purpose is. Okay, it's just temporary, right? It's temporary holding the value of X because we want to pass it to Y, right? Make sense? I hope so. Okay, and then we're going to finish with after swap. All right, and we're still inside swap values. Did I make it static up top? I didn't even finish it. Okay, well that's okay. That's fine. So I'm going to copy this. So this is kind of good that this does this, right? This is a good little reminder. And it was a good reminder for me. So my process, the steps I always do this, okay? It's suggesting that I make it static, okay? And that's fine. I'm okay with doing that because we only have one translation unit, right? Being this, okay? We only have the one, so making it static, it doesn't really matter. I just want to get rid of the argument or the compiler yelling at me. So I'm just going to go static, boom, okay? Done. Always finish your function prototype, so the semicolon, that is it. And then I'm going to get rid of my variables. You guys can keep them there, okay? All right, it's okay to keep them there, but I like clean code, so I get rid of my variables. They're not useful up here anyways. They're useless. I always put static up with the function prototype. It doesn't need to be static down here. You see how it's gone now? There's the 3 dots, horizontal dots, dot, dot, dot. Okay, so now we have to call this. So that's done, okay? So we created a temp variable. We're going to print it before the swap. Here's the swap portion. We're swapping. And then after swap. And then I'm also letting you guys know we're inside, right? Because we're printing it. to the console still, right? This is just to show that we're inside the function still, okay? All right, so up here back in int main, right, we've created these would be our user. Like if we were to get the user to enter in the values, that's what these would be for, okay? We have to create separate variables for it, okay? I don't like to make my variables the same. It's too confusing. And I have read other people's code that people have done that. I've read code like that, and it's much harder to learn and understand. I was able to do it, right? It actually forced me to kind of figure out which variable was doing what. It was a great learning lesson, to be honest. Yeah, I always get in the habit of creating different variable names for, whatever inside your functions, and different variable names for in your int main, okay? All right, so now we need to call that function. Okay, this is calling the function. All right. But remember, our function takes in arguments. Okay, these are our parameters, but it takes in arguments. Those arguments are x value, comma, y value. Boom. That's done. So now we can finish. We're at the last step here. So this is after swap, right? And we're in the int main. Okay, after swap, int main. All right. And of course, right, these variables can only be seen, they're local variables to int main. These are local variables to our function. I can't print these variables up here. I can't go, you know what I mean? I can't take this variable here and paste it here. It just won't see it, right? If I go xpar, right, you can see, right? It's not local to it, right? It's not even global. It's just local to the function. That's what these variables are. That's it. Once it's done, it's done. Once it's done here, then it's done. Its use is inside here. That's it. All right, let's build, run, and check it out. Okay, boom. All right, so I'm just gonna go like this, I guess. Same thing. And actually, it doesn't need to be that long. I'm just gonna do that again. Okay, let's have a look here. All right, int. So I should have created more enters. I should have. As a matter of fact, before swap, let me do that. Let's do this. I want to create some separation. Boom, and then I'll put another one there. Okay, build it again and run it. Okay, just to create that separation. All right. Right, int main, inside our function, int main. Okay, you can see it. So before swap, the values are 5 and 13. Correct. Check. We get to so that's here. Should have actually kept it there. Now we get into the function, remember, line by line till it reaches a function, jumps to the function definition, does the magic that's inside the function, which is this part. Okay, so now we're inside the function. So let's go to the function and have a look. All right, so we're inside the function. Remember, the values are 5 and 13. 5 and 13. Okay? Before the swap, we're inside. Okay? All right, all we've done is declared a new variable called temp, and we're just printing it. Okay, 5 and 13. No change. Perfect, that's good. Check. Then the swap magic happens. You know, it's kind of like jumbling the dice, or I don't know, throwing a couple of dice into your laundry dryer, and you know, we're jumbling the values around. And look, see? Boom. After swap, inside swap, right? We're inside the function. The values got swapped. X is now 13, Y is 5. Right? Boom. So then we get back to the main, and after swap, int main, X is 5, Y is 13. and your brain probably just broke, but it's okay, guys. Okay, so here's the key term. Okay, where is that? Passing by value. Passing by value makes copies. Okay, essentially, the copies are inside the function. Okay, so it jumbles the whatever. It kind of creates new variables. These are new variables in a sense. Okay, right? They're different from what's here. That's kind of the key thing here. So we are making copies, essentially, and we're jumbling those copies around. But again, these variables are only local to the function. As soon as we get to the end of the scope of the function, that's it. Right? The swapping is done. It's kind of like it got reset back to normal. In the future, stay tuned, follow along, and we'll get into learning how to actually not create copies and write code where actually the key word is pointer or pointers. Okay, passing by value. I'm just going to bring up the word pointers, and it's called, there's two ways of doing it, and there's two different ways. One's called passing by pointer and one by passing by reference. Okay, and it kind of can be a confusing concept for people. I'm going to do my best to explain and show you guys examples to the best of my ability. Okay, and I think hopefully, you know, I am successful at doing that for you. Okay, so getting back into main here, right? Remember, I'm just going to close this, right? So after the swap, whatever happened inside the function was kind of separate to the main, right? It's kind of, it was like, how do I explain this? It's kind of like, pretend a function is in California and it's doing stuff in California, and int main is in New York, and int main is doing its own thing in New York, right? I don't know how else to explain that, but that's why the value of X and Y were unchanged, right? If you notice, before the swap, they're 5 and 13, and after the swap, they're 5 and 13. We didn't change these values, right? These aren't the values that were jumbled around and organized, because again, it creates copies. Okay, and in code, there's a nice little way to write the code so that you don't create copies, and it's a wonderful thing. That is it, guys and gals. I'm going to leave it at that. I appreciate you all. Thank you for watching, following along, learning here with Johnny, Whiskey Tango Sharp Coding. You guys are all solid, awesome people for watching, hitting the play button. I mean that. Let's go. Turn it up. That is it. I'll see you guys in the next live stream. Or, you know, if you're hitting the play button, you're watching the content. Maybe you're working or whatever. You know, I understand. You know, that's fine. Can't be here. That's fine. I understand life. It's great having you here and watching the content, putting in the views, learning along. So awesome, truly is. I'm going to leave it at that, guys and gals. Much love, whoever you are, wherever you are. Again, Johnny Whiskey Tango Sharp Coding. I appreciate y'all. I'll see you in the next video live stream. Take care for now and peace out. Peace.
Baby, I don't understand this. You're changing, I can't stand it. My heart can't take this damage. In the way I feel, can't stand it. Baby, I don't understand this. You're changing, I can't stand it. My heart can't take this damage. In the way I feel, can't stand it. Baby, I don't understand this. You're changing, I can't stand it. My heart can't take this damage. In the way I feel, can't stand it. Baby, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I don't understand.